Three young girls were brutally mauled by XL bully in Norfolk. Let's deep dive.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a really upsetting event. It happened in Custody, Norfolk.
That's right, involving an XL bully dog and, unfortunately, 3 young children.
Yeah, we have the reporting here. And what we want to do is just unpack the details, understand what exactly went down, the dog's situation, the owner.
And the legal fallout, basically. Yeah. Try to get the key facts clear, separate from the understandably very strong emotions around it.
Exactly. Our mission, if you like, is to get a clear picture of this specific incident using the information we have.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. Where and when did this happen?
So it was in Custody in Norfolk.
Okay.
And the date was March 7th, but last year.
Right. And the victims?
3 little girls, ages 8, 4, and 11.
Oh, wow. Very young. And the dog?
An XL bully, name was Karma, and quite a large dog, apparently around 105 pounds.
Okay, 105 pounds. And what set it off? The reports mentioned something specific.
It seems like, well, just a knock at the door. That was the initial trigger.
There's a knock?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, the description is pretty stark. The dog became very aggressive and violent almost immediately.
And it attacked the 8-year-old first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently the mother tried to distract it, like with some ham, but it didn't work.
Ham, right. A desperate measure, I suppose. It really speaks to how quickly things can escalate, doesn't it? And how unpredictable.
Absolutely. And the attack didn't stop there. It was quite sustained, dragging the child, severe bites. One report mentioned a wound right down to the bone.
It's horrific. Just awful. What about the other 2 girls?
They were attacked too, as they, screamed and tried to get away. Bite wounds, puncture wounds for them as well.
God, the terror in that house must have been unimaginable.
And get this, the 8-year-old, the first one attacked, somehow managed to escape upstairs.
Really? After being attacked like that?
Yeah, and she apparently did it to protect her little sibling, a 2-year-old, who was in a cot upstairs.
Wow, that's incredible bravery in such a terrifying moment.
It really is. Then a neighbor heard the commotion and came over.
Ah, so someone intervened.
Yes. The neighbor managed to restrain the dog until the police arrived.
Thank goodness for the neighbor. And the mother.
Understandably distraught. The report says she was screaming at the police, telling them to shoot the dog.
You can only imagine. So what happened to Karma, the dog?
The authorities sedated her initially, and then she was destroyed, put down.
Okay. And the girls? You mentioned the injuries.
All 3 needed medical treatment. The 8-year-old had significant injuries, including that really deep arm wound. It's just, you think about the scars, not just physical.
Absolutely. The long-term impact. So what about the dog's background and the owner?
The dog, Karma, had belonged to the mother's ex-partner. Victoria Huitt is the mother's name.
Ah, so it wasn't originally her dog.
Correct. It was left with her.
Yeah.
And the report does say she'd taken some precautions.
Precautions like what?
Things like a dog pen, stair gates, trying to secure the dog.
Okay, so she wasn't totally oblivious to potential issues. She did try something.
Right, but ultimately those measures were called inadequate. They just didn't prevent this awful attack.
Inadequate. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why weren't they enough? Was it the type of dog, the setup? The report doesn't say more.
It doesn't really detail the why, but it highlights that even if you mean well, the precautions might not cut it,
Wow.
especially with a powerful dog and a sudden trigger.
Which leads us to the legal side. What happened there?
Well, Huitt faced charges. She admitted to being in charge of a dangerously out-of-control dog that caused injury.
Okay, she admitted guilt. Was there any defense put forward?
Her lawyer stated she was extremely remorseful, and the judge seemed to acknowledge that.
Acknowledge the remorse.
Yes, and acknowledge that her attempts at precautions were well-intended, even if they were inadequate.
So what was the sentence?
She received an 8-month prison sentence, but it was suspended for 18 months.
Suspended, meaning she didn't go to jail immediately.
Correct. Spared immediate custody.
Right. And the report connects this case to a wider issue, doesn't it?
It does. It explicitly mentions this, adding to growing concerns around the ownership of XL bully dogs in domestic settings.
Especially, it says, in homes with young children. It taps into that ongoing debate.
Definitely. So if we wrap this specific case up, you have a sudden, brutal attack triggered by something simple: severe injuries to children.
An owner who tried somewhat to take precautions, but they failed.
And a legal outcome acknowledging remorse, but still assigning responsibility, though with a suspended sentence.
It's a very specific set of circumstances, this incident, but it does feed into those broader questions, like the report says.
It really does. And that brings us to a final thought for you listening. This case, it really forces you to consider the complexities. Owning dogs, especially certain breeds.
Yeah, and the huge responsibility that comes with it, particularly thinking about safety vulnerability, especially with kids around, it makes you ask, doesn't it? What are the right preventative measures? How do we balance wanting pets with ensuring public safety? It's a tough balance.
Comment
to
your
strike.
thoughts on XL bully orphan attacks. Thanks.